welcome to the Patriot Experience. In this video, we will be taking this 1917 Lee Enfield No1Mk3 SMLE and fitting it with a good stock. This one has been Sporterized, as you can see. Still has original. I don't know if the stock's original to the gun or not, but it still has pretty much everything of what it came with, except they just took a hacksaw or whatever and cut it off here and then sanded the edges. You know, it's pretty traditional for the time. These guns used to be dirt cheap, cheaper than whatever hunting rifle you could order new. You get these used, you know, 20 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever. And at the time, the ammo was really popular. So it's an easy gun to take hunting, and no one wanted to carry around a 8-pound, 9-pound rifle to go deer hunting. So you cut the stock off a bit and you make it, I don't know, 6 to 7, you know, depending on how much you cut. So some people totally get a whole brand new stock instead of just cutting it off, and they shave a lot of weight that way. But here we like originality, we like military history. So I ordered a used stock from eBay. Obviously I haven't seen it. It is still sealed. I've been waiting to open it with you guys. We are going to open it together. It should have all the stock pieces plus all the hardware, including nose cap and all that. We might not replace the butt plate because I heard that they're a pain in the butt to take off, and this one has where the medallion would have been. So depending, I can't remember if this butt plate or this stock has that in it or not. So we'll see if we'll even replace the butt stock depending on how it matches and everything. The stock will probably need redone anyways, with RLO or BLO, boiled linseed oil or raw linseed oil or tung oil. I don't know what the Brits used. I know on like the M1 Grands here they would have used linseed oil, or on the M14 they probably would have used something more like tung oil from my understanding. I do have a No. 4 Mark 1. You know, these are both used in World War II to some degree. This one was used in World War I as well for the Brits. Maybe not this exact rifle, but the No. 1 Mark 3 would have been used in World War I and World War II, and I'm sure other conflicts around that time. These are both used pretty heavily by their colonies as well. India used them quite a bit. I'm sure their colonies in Africa and all around the world use variants of the Lee Enfield rifle, including these two variants here. Like I said, this is No. 4 Mark 1. This one still has their original stock, or original style stock at least. It fits somewhat well. We'll see how this other one fits. Apparently, if it's not fit well, apparently these No. 1 Mark 3s were fit individually to each gun. It's kind of crazy to think about, considering they were mass produced during the height of World War I and World War II, and they were custom fitting every single stock to each rifle. That's pretty crazy to think about. I'm not sure about the case on the No. 4 Mark 1s, but it fits pretty tight as well. So we'll compare them at the end and all that. Now, like I said, I bet this stock, I mean, it's old. I bet this other stock will probably need at least somewhat reconditioned, whether that's just re-oiled or maybe some parts sanded. I don't know. It said it was really nice in the description. Who knows? So let's go ahead and open it. Couldn't find my pocket knife, so I had to go upstairs and grab a steak knife out of the kitchen drawer. I've been dying to open this. I've had it for about 3 days. I'm just waiting until I had time to make the video. Now, while I do know a lot about these rifles, I guess, I'm definitely not a historian or an expert or professional in any degree, not even close actually. I just take a lot of interest in these old rifles. So if you know more about them than me, please let me know in the comments. I will also be doing more research to figure out like the spacing with the stock and the rifle and that sort of stuff. Like I read how certain things don't fit right. You can add washers to make it tighter, I guess, with the screws. So we'll see. They have a little note. Dang. Thank you for your purchase. So is there anything else you were looking for? Contact me. He also gave his number. I'm also in Gun Broker where I sell cool stuff. Need ammo? I have it all, including many different 303 Brit options. Cheaper than the big guys. I'll keep that in mind because I am low on my 303 Brit. I'm low on Brits in general at the moment. I don't have any British friends, so let's see. Getting a call from Alabama. You guys can just hold on. Well, that was a waste of my time because I answered and they didn't say anything. So it's important they'll call back. This is a lot of bubble wrap. I appreciate him taking great care with the shipping. Alright, it's looking like, at least my piece here, whatever you call this, part of the front handguard is better on mine, so I might keep that where it is on mine. They also, I guess they cut these ears off or took them off somehow. This front nose cap seems to be in pretty good condition, although it needs cleaned up. Something else you miss with taking the nose cap off, you don't have your bayonet lug. None of that stuff. Yeah, in general, this thing could probably be cleaned up quite a bit. It's kind of dirty. It's really dirty, actually. I plan on doing some raw linseed oil on at least the Grand, maybe the M14 as well, because their stocks are they're pretty dry, and I haven't oiled them since I got them. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the first steps of unbubbaing this here rifle, which, first of all, we're going to take the stock off. So, I have this just random kit I got from Walmart. It was on sale for like $2 a couple years ago. Couldn't believe it. It comes with a lot of good stuff. I may need to run to the garage to get some actual tools, because this is just a gun cleaning kit, but it has about everything you need to take a gun down. So we're taking the magazine off. And then, if I remember right, they were taking stuff off. I think just the bottom, I believe. Taking these screws out. Now, if I was smart, I would put like electrical tape on the screwdriver. So, is there even a screw in that one? I don't think so. No, there's not even a screw in that one. I put electrical tape on here so I don't scratch anything, but I'll just be careful. Alright, there's our trigger. And like I did say, this rifle is a 1917, so that's right towards the end of World War I. So who knows, maybe this rifle saw some combat against, I don't know, Germans, Italians. I guess they did fight the Japanese to some extent. Maybe this was a Australian rifle. If you know any way of knowing how to tell, please let me know. Not seeing any markings on the inside of here. In the same auction, I bought a Swedish K11, I guess that's what it is. Straight pull bolt action rifle. All numbers matching. Stock and everything, even the magazine and all that was all numbers matching. But it had also been Sporterized. Now this piece here, every video I watch, I was like, be super careful, because it had like it clamps on there rather than like screws in, and it's made out of pretty thin wood, so it can be really messed up. So I'm gonna be very careful with this. Alright, that was kind of easy. It wasn't too bad. I guess that's pretty much everything. I would like to see someone shoot it just like this, see what would happen. I think it would work still. Oh, the trigger's gone. That might have been a mistake. There we go. Yeah, this is definitely a drill rifle. It has DP in the whatever I called this earlier. Barrel bands. That's what these are called. I might keep the ones that were on the other rifle just because they don't have drill purpose in the metal. I'll show you that, the DP that I'm talking about here in a second. Alright, you can see that on there pretty well. The DP pressed into the metal there. Pretty sure that stands for drill purpose. It is also in the barrel band right there. Pretty cool, but kind of sucks that this stock came from a demilled rifle. That's alright. Doesn't matter. It's going on a perfectly good rifle now. Yeah, all this metal and the wood, it all needs cleaned up pretty good. I guess it has cosmoline or some other sort of gunk on like everything. I'm trying to keep everything together the best I can. I'm already getting stuff confused. The insides of the stock are a little bit different, so it's possible I might have to do a little bit of trimming on this stock here. And it's possible that this came off of like a different, slightly different variant, No1Mk3. Alright, so something that this stock has that this one doesn't is a little notch right here. There is, I don't know if you can see that, there's this little like bump or piece that comes out right here. And this stock is notched for that. This one is not. So it's looking like I'm gonna have to file or trim notch in the back of the stock so that this piece here can slide into that. That's the only thing I'm seeing that can hold me up. Plus I can see it hitting that. And while my eyes do lie to me quite a bit, I don't think they're going to lie to me this much. So, some of y'all are going to understand what I did, and some of y'all are going to be probably pretty angry. And I can understand that. But, if you remember, the darker pieces were, especially this bottom one, was like the full-length stock. And I decided that that stock was kind of trash, and it was going to be really, really hard to make it fit everything with the, you know, like with the gun, you know, the metal parts of the gun. It's going to be really hard to make the grooves and all that without breaking anything or causing issues. So what I decided to do was I ended up cutting both stocks to where they meet perfectly under this barrel band, to where they're like right up against each other. And it turned out way better than I thought it did. We got a really good cut and we got a really good fit in there. You can't even tell other than the difference in color. Make it right under the light here. You can obviously see that this is like an oranger and this is dark, like a real dark, dirty brown. So I think it turned out really good. And once we get done with the BLO, the boiled linseed oil, it is going to look fantastic. So the stuff that I got it from Menards. Got some stripper. Whoops. I'm going to lay that down. Some OT4 steel wool. Yep, OT4. A couple sanding pads. And some of this boiled linseed oil. That's what we're really after. Got some wire brushes and some other things to help clean it up. I'm following a process of another YouTuber. What he did. I forget exactly what his channel is called. I'll have to remind you here in a second. But he takes a lot of rifles from RTI, Royal Tiger Imports. And if you don't know, like all the rifles you get from there are like kind of trash because they're rifles that were being in storage, and they get them and they ship them out to people. That's pretty much all they do. Of course, they do other things like testing and other crap, but they come in pretty rough condition, especially like the stocks and the bluing. This guy gets them, redoes the stocks, redoes the bluing. He does a fantastic job. He shows the start to beginning process. If you want to do this for yourself, he probably makes a lot better video. He has some on this exact gun, some number 4 Lee Enfields as well. He does an amazing job. So if you want to go watch his videos to see a better version of how to do it from beginning to finish, go check him out. So the YouTuber that I mentioned that did this, explained this way better than me, and that I'm kind of following, his name is Surplus Restoration. Just type in his name on YouTube and he'll come up with his videos. He's not super popular, but he has quite a few views and he makes some really, really good content. I'm pretty much following his guidelines like one for one. Like I went and bought similar things and I'm using similar things, or the exact same things that he's using. I've even written down over here a list just so I don't have to keep notes or whatever. But our first thing that we start with is kind of cleaning our parts up here with the bristle brush, and then wipe it all down with a wet rag. So I'll go ahead and get started doing that. I'm going to time lapse it, but before I start before I start and stop each process or step, I'll stop and explain it to you. So here we go. So I've finished wire brushing everything I want to wire brush and then wiping it back down. Now we're going to spray all the wood with Goo Gone or any sort of like degreaser, and then use OT4 steel wool, or what do you want to call it, to rub it in and wipe it down and kind of just go to town with it, and then we'll wipe it off. All right, now that I have put the Goo Gone on, then rubbed it in real good with the wool steel, or steel wool, whatever, and then wiped it back off. Time for a stripper. I'm going to throw it in this little container, and then this is the only brush I could find. I think it's actually for makeup, I'm not sure, but it's whatever my wife had. So that is strong. Just add a little bit in here. This is my first time ever doing this, so I don't know how much I'm supposed to use. I was told to apply it on thick. So now that I got everything all wiped down, after we did the stripper, we can go ahead and start sanding. Now we're going to do 120, 220, and 400. Work from the most vigorous grit all the way up to the 400. And in between, we're going to wet it down and dry it each time. Let's just get the rest of that finish off and to get the wood open for more oil. So the sanding part is now done. We did 120, then 220, then 400, and wetting in between, and then I even use the hair dryer to help dry the pieces quicker. Next, we're going to do something he calls whiskering, I think he called it, where he does the same thing where he wets it before and after, but he uses Scotch-Brite pads. That's what it is. He uses these. This is like a knockoff from Menards. You can find Scotch-Brite pads probably like anywhere, and they're basically just like a softer wool pad. I don't know. They're not as abrasive and they don't come apart, so a little bit easier to work with. And he just kind of did the same thing he did with the sanding. Wet it, hit it with the Scotch-Brite pad, wet it, hit it with Scotch-Brite pad, and then he said do it 2 to 3 times. I'm probably going to do it twice, maybe 3 times. I don't know. We'll figure it out. and then leave it wet, and then dry it, and then we can apply our boiled linseed oil. So with the whiskering out of the way, all that's left is to apply our BLO. So how the fella in the video I've been mentioning several times, how he does it, he just applies it with his fingers, then he rubs it in with his palm. So let's give that a go. I will say that the smell of this stuff is pretty dang nice. It seems like something that I've smelt before, but I can't quite my finger where I think it is. Now that I applied it with my fingers, I'm gonna rub it in with my palm. You said to do it until like your hand was getting hot, which it kind of is now. So that means that it's working, it's soaking in. And this stuff smells actually really, really nice. Alright, now after we've rubbed it in real good with our hand, he said to apply a pretty, what do you say? Apply a heavy coat with a brush. So, get our good size brush. He said he used a foam brush, so that's what I'm going to use. He said pretty darn heavy, because we're going to come back here in about 30 minutes and wipe away the excess. So now that it's been about 30 minutes for each one, we can go ahead and start wiping them down. Pretty simple. Just wipe off the excess with a paper towel, and then that's it for tonight. We have to wait 24 hours, then we can hit it with steel wool, and then apply another coat. Alright, so the night's wiping is officially done. Buttstock and all the other pieces all BLO'd and then wiped. So we're gonna let them sit for 24 hours and then come back and like do what I said. We're gonna hit it with the OT4 steel wool, and then might even mix some tung oil in there. Depends what the other guy did. I have to watch what he did. I think he did like a 50-50 mix of tung oil and boiled linseed oil. We might do that as well. Because I like the way that his turned out, so I might go for his look. But I'm sure you'll see it here in like 30 seconds. For me, it's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so I've been doing this since like 10 o'clock, so it's been a while. It's been constant work and a little bit distracted. But yeah, I'll see you in 24 hours. So it's now the next day, and we've let this boiled linseed oil stock sit for about 24 hours. Just to show you a little bit better. I don't know if that helps at all, but that is a really nice looking color, especially on that. These other pieces, they are a little bit darker, but they are somewhat similar and they look really, really good. Some of it's actually still wet in some places, like underneath. I should have dried it a little better. This one's pretty good. Let me wipe that off. Kind of similar to that other piece in terms of darkness. This one is the darkest. This was also like almost black beforehand. I probably could have done a little bit better job on sanding it down and stripping it, but these are known for breaking really easily, so I did not really want to test my luck. And the stock, the butt stock itself is probably coming out the best. That's a really, really beautiful dark brown, or like lightish and darkish brown contrast, especially with like all the gouges and everything in the stock. It looks really, really cool. But for our second application of BLO, we're going to hit it with some OT4 steel wool, and then just do what we did before. The steel wool basically just, it's like before you paint a car, you scuff it, or like when in the painting process, you scuff it before you hit it with your primer or your color or whatnot. It's kind of similar. It allows the fibers to come up, and you can get your BLO down into those fibers better. Now that we hit all the wood with that steel wool, we can go ahead and pour ourselves some of our BLO in a cup and then apply it just like we did before with the fingers, then rub it in with our palm, and then really douse it with the brush. Alright, the second coat of BLO is now on. All that's left to do is wait 30 minutes, wipe it down, and then wait till tomorrow to put our third coat on. Now it's been 24 hours after that second coat. We're going to start our third coat, and this is where we start to have some differences. We're going to put some tung oil in it, a 50-50 ratio of BLO and tung oil. And after the next 24 hours, we'll do, I think, just pure tung oil. I'll have to double check the video to make sure, but this is what he did for his third application, the 50-50 mix. He does a steel wool and wipes it down, and then smothers this around with a microfiber towel. He dips it in, wipes it down, and then hits it with the palm, just like how we did with the BLO. And then we let it sit. We don't, or at least he didn't. He didn't wipe it down with a brush pretty heavy, like we have on the BLO. We're not going to do that on the tung oil. I don't know why. That's just what he did, and I'm following what he did. Already got my stuff mixed up. Not a ton. Hopefully we don't need a lot. If we need more, I'll mix more. But we probably shouldn't. BLO smells really, really good, I found out. This tung oil kind of smells like how you'd imagine like a stain to smell like. I'm a big fan of this stuff. Let's take a look at how we're looking after a couple coats. It still looks kind of dry, a little dull. It does look really good though, don't get me wrong. It's pretty dang nice. And these are really coming out beautiful, these dark colors. Gorgeous. And then the stock. Stock is also coming out very nice. I love how smooth it is too, from sanding and everything. It's awesome. So I'm going to time lapse it here. I'm going to go ahead and start scrubbing. Another thing that he said that differs between pure BLO and then adding tung oil, we wait about 20 minutes before wiping. Later when we do pure tung oil, we'll wait about 10 to 15 minutes before wiping it off. Okay, now we're ready for our fourth application. This will actually be the last application that I do. I'm not going for a super shiny look. I kind of want like a more worn stock, but I want it to be in good shape and still look good instead of like the nasty crap like it was before, obviously. I feel like it hasn't really changed too much. Of course, we've only done one thing of tung oil, and today will be our fourth total and final application. I'm going to go pretty heavy with the tung oil, I think, to really help it soak in and bring out the shine. But first, we got to steel wool it up, wipe it down, and then just rub in our tung oil. Okay, so everything is now dry, and we're going to start putting this thing back together. Shouldn't take too long. Then we'll go outside, look at it in the sunshine, as well as take a few shots with it. Okay guys, we are now at the range. This rifle is looking absolutely amazing. Of course, not perfect. The color matching didn't really go too great. If I want to spend more time on it, I could probably get it, but right now it looks perfectly fine for me. That's what I'm wanting. We're at the 50-yard range. We're gonna take a few shots. I have not shot this rifle yet. This is my first time, but I'm definitely excited. Thank you guys for watching this far in the video. Let's take some shots. All right, let's go ahead and load her up. This is a 10-round mag, but I'm just gonna throw 5 in there or so. And then we'll do some quick shooting as well. 1, 2. Of course, I forgot my Air Pro once again. I always kind of seem to. I guess I don't value my hearing that well. And this thing loaded really nice. I haven't loaded this or shot it, either one. And this gun really does feel and look amazing. It's super smooth, super nice. Had some guys stop by. I might show that video in there. They complimented it and loved it. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a few shots. I loaded, what, did I say 5 or did I shoot 4? I don't know, we'll figure it out. Beautiful. All right. First shots with 1917 Lee Enfield. Get my shoulder in there so I don't blow it out. Here we go. Well, part of my front handguard just fell off. I guess I didn't tighten that good enough. I'll figure that out here in a second. That's all right. One more. Beautiful. All right, let's get that front handguard on there and we're good to go. Yeah, it looks like it just came out of the groove there. Part of the issues with not having the right stock, or perfect stock, I guess. Thank you guys again for watching this far in the video. That gun went from, you know, ugly as hell to real pretty and shined up, looking like it just came out of the factory. So thank you guys for watching the Patriot Experience and have a great day.
Modern weapons against Nazism are the most effective the world has ever seen. The Thompson submachine gun for close range and a terrific rate of fire. The Bren gun, modern warfare's most efficient, withering and deadly Hun smasher. The anti-tank rifle, light and mobile, yet the nightmare of the enemy AFBs. The rifle. There is no greater weapon for accurate, controlled fire at good range than this. Even against enemy aircraft, especially when flying low, rifles and light automatics are deadly if fire is properly controlled. But with anti-aircraft fire, as with all fire, we must know when to fire if we're to shoot to kill. First then, let us present the rifle, sighted up to 2,000 yards. But normally, fire should not be opened above 600 unless the target is extremely favorable. The shorter the range, the greater the accuracy. Shoot to kill. Hello, he seems to have seen something. Is that the enemy moving about there? Stab my vitals, it is the enemy. Now then, what are our chaps going to do about it? The range, remember, is 800 yards to that wood. Hey, stop! What's all this going on? Oh, Lord, that's torn it. They've given the whole show away. There goes the Boche running back to tell the patrol where our position is. That's precisely what they were sent out for. And now we're going to cop it for that folly, and cop it hard. The enemy observer has a quick look at the ground, spots our position in spite of its cover, and... Precisely. That's what comes of not holding your fire until you're sure of a kill.
Gemeiner Steinmetz, vorwärts. Steinmetz sagte ihnen vorwärts. Heil Hitler. Jawohl, Korporal. Heil Hitler.
This fellow has been sent forward by the Jerry NCO to draw our fire and disclose the whereabouts of our men. And there goes his snap-shooting fire order. Those bursts from his Bren guns scattered what was left of them, and now every man for his own target and in his own time. Nice work, Corporal. You shot to kill. If we handle this carefully, it's in the bag. Let's hope the rifleman doesn't fire too soon. Hey, not yet, not yet. He did miles too soon. And the tanks take the hint and leg it away into the tall grass. All he's done is to give his position away while this silly twerp looks this way and that, trying to make out where the target's gone. and wondering what it's all about. A tank with a personal grievance is on its way towards him and out to get him. Crashing through the undergrowth, it carries out a flanking attack on the position and bobs your uncle. That's one tank to the good and one anti-tank rifleman definitely to the bad. Looks as if this frightful-looking blighter had a personal grievance to air with that corporal. And that's that. 200 yards away they were, but the Germans knew when to fire, and so, unhindered, continued to advance. Bad. Very bad indeed. In fact, bloody awful. Our corporal didn't know the first rules of the game. He opened fire too soon and gave the enemy the initiative.